But we're going to talk IT now. Perhaps the street has been surprised with the strength in the IT sector throughout 2009 calendar. Analysts are very divided on how to value IT stocks given their outlook. Some brokerages are bullish, some are not so bullish. But one of the companies which most analysts track very closely is the not listed in India, Cognizant. And it came out with very robust or solid guidance for both Q2 and for the full year last night under the circumstances and given the current environment. R. Chandrasekaran, Managing Director and President of Cognizant, is with us right now. Mr. Chandrasekaran, morning. Thanks for joining. And your guidance seems far more confident than most other IT companies in India, even Infosys, for H2 and for the full year. Could you take us through why you are appearing more confident about the future than the other biggies?
One is, there are 3 or 4, reasons why we feel optimistic of meeting our guidance that we gave at the beginning of the year. One is, as an industry, we still feel that the value proposition from offshoring and outsourcing is quite compelling. So customers would continue to utilize this offshoring services to control their own costs. So the value proposition is definitely compelling. And second is, in the industry, we enjoy a unique place because we have a very unique operating model, which is characterized by a very high-touch customer relationship and backed by a solid delivery excellence. And because of this unique operating model, we have been able to sort of tailor-make any solutions or services that is really going to help our customers meet all their challenges, both short-term cyclical challenges as well as the long-term secular challenges. So that way, we enjoy a great deal of relationship with our customers. And the third reason is really the reinvestment strategy that we have been following in Cognizant, ever since we started. We invest more in our business. So even during the downturn economic environment, we actually reinvest our profits back in the business so that we can grow the business faster. So the reinvestment really comes into by way of giving our customers a superior experience by having better and better relationship management focus. And that way we are able to proactively identify their potential problems and come back to them with solutions. Investment in terms of creating newer solution offerings, whether it is in the area of infrastructure or high-end business transaction processing services, and more recently, a re-energized, revitalized consulting offering. All these new offerings, the investments that we have made in these new offerings are really helping us to get a lot more traction with our existing customers. So, and also, we keep investing in newer geographies to globalize our business more and more. You saw our U.S. has been the strongest market for Cognizant, and in the last 3 years, we have been focusing a lot on European market, with the result that the European market is almost growing at a fantastic pace for Cognizant. 2 years ago, our European revenue was about 10 or 11%. Today is about 18%. Now we have started focusing on emerging markets. So we'll continue to invest in newer geographies. So even during this downturn economy, we continue to invest more in our business. That's really helping us to get a lot more traction, and that's why we are very sort of optimistic about meeting our guidance.
Let me just ask you to split up the year for us, because most of the other Indian IT companies seem to be very cautious about the current quarter. They say that if there is growth, it will probably be in the last 2 quarters of the year, which is very back-ended. Is that how you map the year, or since you are giving positive guidance for the current quarter as well, or are you seeing most quarters of the year being evenly spread out?
We have given a guidance of 2% growth. We will do at least 760 million for our Q2, which is the June quarter. And we have also reaffirmed our guidance of 10% growth for the whole year. So we are quite confident of meeting those guidance that we have announced. And what we have seen in the last few months was the customers' budgets are getting finalized. So we see some kind of firm statements coming out from our customer organization. With that, we are able to work with them closely and identify projects that will start flowing in from Q2 onwards. So definitely we see some uptick in our revenue opportunity in the subsequent quarters.
Mr. Chandrasekaran, morning. Just to scratch that point, how much lower do you think budgets are going to be for this year? Because in our interaction with some of the domestic IT companies, they did indicate that budgets are becoming a bit irrelevant in this economic scenario.
I wouldn't say that. Budgets are important. Even if you're going to spend less, you need to have certain budgets earmarked for how you want to spend your IT dollars. So budgets are important, and in most situations what we see is it is actually split. Some customers, it is marginally down, and most customer situations it is pretty flat. But everywhere the customers are really focused on reducing the cost. So that's why you see a lot more discussions happening about reducing the total cost of ownership for customers, and really how do I optimize IT services while at the same time meeting the business goals. So offshore and outsourcing really comes in nicely to help customers weather the crisis right now.
So how much lower for budgets then? 5 to 10% compared to last year, or more than that?
Sorry, I didn't get the question, sorry.
How much lower for budgets this year, you think? About 5%, 10%, or more than that, close to 15% perhaps?
It is actually very low single digits in half our customers, and most of the other customers it is pretty flat.
Okay. Just wanted a quick comment from you on pricing as well. Infosys indicated to us that they're expecting pricing cuts of as deep as perhaps 6% on some clients. What are you factoring in?
We haven't noticed anything very unusual on the pricing side. Though we have seen decline of 2 to 3% sequentially, but that's more to do with the type of services that we are winning. If you really look at our application management, this is typically supporting the existing applications, and that share of the business is actually increasing more than the discretionary application development. So the skills that are needed to deliver these types of services is slightly lower than a complex application development. So because of that, you see some reduced price, and also it's the type of deals that we are chasing. They are not small ones and twos here and there. These are large opportunities. So customers do expect some economies of scale. So that again leads to some downward movement in the pricing. And so if you really look at it, it's not really a pricing reduction. It is more of scale efficiency and the type of the services that you take to customers. That is actually showing the 2 to 3% net reduction.
At this point, Mr. Chandrasekaran, should Indian IT companies be worried about the noises that are coming out on protectionism, anti-outsourcing, etc., some of the statements from President Obama? But do you think there is reason to be concerned?
Yeah, definitely, these types of noises don't augur well for the industry, so we should definitely be concerned. But, we shouldn't be reacting more than what is needed, actually. So, even in the President's speech yesterday, we are still, getting expert opinions on what it really means. But it's very clear, it is, the implications are going to be beyond the IT industry. It's going to affect every U.S. corporation that's going to have an overseas operation. So I'm sure it will be widely debated before it is taken to conclusion.
Good luck, Mr. Chandrasekaran. Thanks very much for taking time out for us today. That's Cognizant sounding quite confident about the remainder of the year. 10%, at least 10% growth guidance that they've given for the current year. With that,